Hello there, and you are very welcome. You're welcome to our final workshop on essential oils and how to use them for manifesting. Thank you so much for being here. It's absolutely lovely to welcome you. So we are going to go through the how. So we're going to go through we'll quickly recap what we've covered to date. We've covered the why you use essential oils for manifesting, and that's basically largely to do with brain geography, the fact that the sense of smell is located in a place it's just a very special place. It's a gateway to the limbic brain, and it's the only one of our senses that has this prime positioning. So it renders the subconscious mind pretty accessible to us, which, it's generally pretty inaccessible for a lot of work, but smell gets straight in there. So that's great for any deeper work, for meditation, for changing deeply ingrained habits and patterns. Sleep, amazing for sleep, because sleep is a lot about pattern, and you have to repattern to reclaim your sleep. And calm, obviously, it just immediately changes your state of mind, your nervous system instantly. So for deeper work, for calming, for meditation, for yoga, and for manifesting. It's magic, because again, with manifesting, we need to access the subconscious mind. So that's the why. Then the what, we went into what oils, and we'll do a little bit more of that today. What oils are good for what stages of manifesting. But as you'll know, if you've been with me to this point, my type of working with essential oils, as I call it, Gandha Shakti, which is the power of fragrance, the Sanskrit for fragrance, which is Gandha, is not prescriptive, non-prescriptive. Now, I can guide you to say that certain oils are good for certain things, like the roots are fantastic for grounding and also for deep work. Different oils, they have their properties, but with the kind of essential oil, I'm an essential oils consciousness coach. That's really my thing. So my job is not to tell you what's good for what, but to guide you to the inner wisdom of feeling, and just feeling, knowing, but really that's very heady. It's just reclaiming this beautiful wisdom you have that intuitively senses what is the right oil to use. So that's really what I do, rather than the prescriptive. And that's because it's empowering, because then as soon as it's not just using essential oils, because so many people are using essential oils for medicinal purposes, for healing, which is fantastic, for physical healing, which is fantastic, absolutely brilliant. They're so powerful. But when you meet the oils at a deeper level, it's incredible. I feel you are molecularly and cellularly altered. I feel that there's this beautiful little dance that the chemicals that are in the essential oils and your own chemicals are going, yeah, this is good, let's do this. And the beautiful thing is, you feel it all the time. Okay, now admittedly I'm wearing essential oils all the time, but you really feel it all the time. And if you wear essential oils like Ground, my roll-on, has, you can't really see it there, myrrh, and it stays in your body for 48 hours. So I think that as long as you use them daily, a couple of times a day, they are always with you. But you do have this beautiful sense of intuition that just opens up, and that you just feel a little bit more intuitively aware, a little bit more wise about what's needed physically, and just more in tune with the universe, really, is how I look at it. So that's why it's so perfect for manifesting. So why, what, and then how. So we get on to the how. So I'm quickly going to go through the 4 stages of manifesting, and what oils are good for what, and then we're going to get on to Affirmations, which is my own creation, and yeah, you'll see what they are. So 4 stages of manifesting. A lot of people have different kind of ways of looking at manifesting. The way I break it down is 4 stages. The first one is to ask, and that is often where people stop and they don't even get halfway through the ask, because with the ask, that's really probably the biggest work, because with ask, you need to be super clear on what you're asking for. And that's where so many of us fall short of, for many reasons, but mainly it's just that we don't take time to do the work, to get the clarity that's needed to really ask clearly. And we often, as I've heard some manifesting coaches say, we ask more clearly for a sandwich than we do for what we want from the universe. With a sandwich, you'll say, I'll have this, but on this bread, and with that, and with this on the side, and a whole that. We'll be very specific with what we when we ask for a sandwich. But when it comes to asking the universe for, that which we absolutely it's possibly our dharma, and is really what will light us up and fulfill us and enable us to be all that we are supposed to be, we cheat ourselves. We don't ask clearly, because it is a little bit difficult, but if you do the work, it happens. And we'll get on to what essential oils are good for that. So the first thing is to ask. There are a few caveats around asking, like it's got to be credible to the subconscious mind, which but again, there's a lot of paradoxes in yogic philosophy. It's got to be credible, but at the same time it's often incredible, because you're trying to hold this state of what is and what isn't at the same time, as you're moving from a state of because we don't believe in a state of lack is an illusion. So it's a state of having but being unaware of having, and moving towards the state of having and being aware of having. I guess that's one way to say it, dropping the veil between the perception of lack, which is a false perception, and the reality of all that we have already. And the second thing is that it can be important that which you are seeking is aligned with your values and with your soul purpose, but you may not feel you're aware of your soul purpose. Another way to say it would be a broader good, that if it's aligned, if it feels right, if it feels like it's expansive, and it brings you closer to, it might be useful to think in terms of service, but it doesn't have to be. A lot of us go down that road too far, and these feelings of unworthiness, and that really we'll always be serving. But there is a very beautiful equilibrium between giving and getting. So if you want, the big things, you do have to give the big things, but that doesn't mean putting yourself below anything. It just means serving at a higher level, which often means getting out of your comfort zone. But if you align your want with something that's bigger, that's feels more expansive, then that's another sort of little caveat around how to ask. There is quite a lot in how to ask, but on this workshop we can't go too deep into that, but I can tell you some essential oils. I try to kind of guide you towards what essential oils will ask in that will work in that process of asking. The next phase, we've asked. The second one is believe. This is, it's quite hard to believe. It's hard to keep the faith when it may seem incredible to you, this thing that you want to manifest, be it a new love, be it a new job, be it a new car, be it 100 grand, be it whatever. It may feel absolutely incredible. So how can you believe? But that's the job. That's what's got to be done, and that's it is difficult, but it's faith. It's just like faith is difficult, but faith is it's a non-negotiable. It absolutely is required for manifesting. So we'll talk about what essential oils are good for that. Then the third stage, so we've got ask, believe, listen is number 3. And listen there's external listening and internal listening. So external listening is when you're just kind of looking around, feeling the vibes, looking out for things like synchronicities, serendipities, all those beautiful S words, signs, another S word. So, and you can ask for a sign for something if you want angel numbers or anything that might resonate with you. So that's the external listening, and but that's not half as important as the internal listening. And the internal listening, how I describe that is how Esther Hicks describes it, which is like, well, it's first of all it's tuning into your emotions, and she describes it like a volume knob on your, like not a volume knob, but a tuning in your radio, those old school radios, as you tune them in, and to try to get over and back to really tune in with what your emotions are saying in terms of, is this bringing you closer to that which you want to manifest, or further away from, or rather that which you are already manifesting but are unaware of manifesting, if you know what I mean. And that state of receiving. So that's the internal listening. And that's it requires vigilance, it requires mindfulness, it requires attendance, and it requires a higher level of consciousness, which is why manifesting absolutely requires a deeper level of consciousness. It's not some thing you can learn really easily and quickly, and there's a lot of talk about that, but it is deep work. It just is deep work, and you can't get there without that deep work. But that's why we're here, is to do the deep work. So it's And sure, what else would you be doing? It's great. So we've got ask, believe, listen, and then receive. So the fourth part is receive, which is in a way the easiest part, and it should be, because in this way you're just waiting. In this way you're just waiting for the universe to provide. And it's something, as long as you believe the universe will provide, it will happen. So, sorry. So listening and then receiving. I'd say it's the easiest, but for many it's the hardest, because it a lot revolves around self-worth. So for the many, that is the hardest. So we'll talk about what oils are good for that. My voice is doing funny things. Interesting. So they're the 4 phases, and we'll talk about which oils are good for what. So first of all, ask. So what's good for ask? Now let's do meditation. I think my body's saying do a meditation. If you have an oil with you, pull it out, whatever it is, whatever you happen to bring with you, use. If you have a lot in front of you, drop into yourself and say what you think is right. Let's work on the ask, the first of 4. Let's work on that. And without me telling you this is the right one for this stage, see if you can drop in and see what might be the right one for that stage. So ask. So ask is more than just a question. It's being clear on what you want, visualizing absolute clarity on what it is you want to manifest. So what oil do you think might be good for that? If you can, reach out, grab it. Now it's nice to ask the oil for permission first. Then apply if it is a blend. If it's not a blend, or even if it is, smell. Don't apply directly on skin. Now our intention here is to get clarity for the ask. So if you can, on your next exhalation, feel yourself grounding. On the next inhalation, feel a beautiful orb of white light coming up one side and down the other side. On the exhalation. And on the next inhalation, up the front. That beautiful white orb. And on the exhalation, down the back. And do a few more breaths like that. Each inhalation, I like to just visualize like rounding out that beautiful white orb to protect you. And inhaling up and exhaling back. So visualize a white orb all around you to protect you. So our intention is to get clarity. So you'll feel the oil where you'll feel the oil. I feel it going straight here. So see where it goes in you. Where does it go to? And let's do a little releasing while we're here. So just say to yourself, what's blocking me from that which I'm trying to manifest? And how can the oils help me release? Meditation with dog. And then you can open your eyes. Okay, so I'd love to know where you felt anything that you might have felt. You please feel free to put it in the comments. So yeah, I felt it immediately there. But you'll feel it in different places, and you feel it in different places at different times. I'm also curious with what oil you kind of reached for. I'll tell you now, I'll be the more prescriptive, but as I said, there is no prescriptive. I tend to just reach because I believe so firmly that which I pick up will be the right one. Which I know sounds crazy, but we just have that belief in using essential oils for deep work, that the correct oil generally presents itself to you. So that one I got was Salute, which when I'm manifesting I nearly always use Balance because of the clary sage. Vetiver, oh beautiful, yeah. I mean, those beautiful deep roots for deep work. Is there anything like vetiver? It's such a beautiful humble grass with these crazy deep roots that is just absolutely magical for the deeper work. It's just so grounding, so fast. Yeah, I do it that way and get guided by colours too. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, amazing. If colours are guiding you, that's fantastic. Black pepper, wow, beautiful. Wow, and black pepper is strong. It's a beautiful one, and it's straight up here as well often. So yeah, it's brilliant for clarity. It's often what Buddhist monks used to use to keep awake during meditation, and just to keep that, it's very third eye. Salute as well. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thanks, Philippa. You've Salute as well. So funny. Yeah, you reached for it. I just really believe that it happens in sync like that. Fabulous. So let's go through what oils are good for each of the 4 stages. Not non-prescriptive, but just to suggest to you, what kind of types of oils are good for the 4 stages. So the first stage, the ask, the clarity. So there, I went for Salute, well, not non-intentionally, but Salute came to me, which with citrusy and rosemary and cedarwood, but it's quite uppy. So often the uppy ones so it might be that those uppy ones work for you, like rosemary, fantastic, and the mints and those ones that are more, more clarifying. Maybe the ones you would use like to clear your nasal passages, that kind of clarity. So there's that type of clarity. Then there's the deeper clarity, like the vetiver, which is when it's dharma work, then the vetivers are better. But again, you just instinctively move towards what is right for you. And then what I love is clary sage, because clary sage is known for clarity. Clary sage clarity. It is known for opening the third eye, and it's always been used for this deeper work. So clary sage is beautiful for that. So for the ask, it's those. So there's the kind of higher clarity ones, and then there's the deeper dharma clarity ones. But again, it's really everything in between for you, because it could be for clarity for you, what is required is opening up or clearing one of your chakras, basically. So it could be that it's that oil that resonates with a particular one of the chakras that works for you. So, but I love leaning into either the deep ones or the rosemary type ones for the ask phase of it. And all you really do is with the ask, it's deep work with writing. You write. There's lots of techniques, which I've so many of them, but I can't go into them now. But there's so many fabulous techniques about how to get that clarity. But it does take time. It does take pen and paper, and it does take meditation, and you align it with the oil. So you use one of the oils and align with it. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, black pepper. Yeah, black pepper is just, you can feel it, like it's, it hits you straight here. It's just, it's super clarifying. Almost to the point of irritation for some people. Some people start sneezing with it. Some people, a lot of people are very sensitive to it. So the ask, and then we have the believe. So what is good for believe? So believe and faith is a big, it's a big ask. It's a big thing to have and to hold. And so I love to lean into the oils that are also good for resilience for this. So basically the deep roots, so the vetiver again, and the strong trees, the sandalwood, the cedarwood, the frankincense, the myrrh, the big strong trees. But really anything that you know to be resilient is great for belief, because that is what is required. It could be that time is absolutely an illusion, but it could feel that you have to hold the belief for a long time. Time, it doesn't exist, but it may feel that. So you have to have deep roots, you have to be strong, and you have to keep on keeping on with what you want to manifest. So I love the resilience oils for belief, and that is deep roots and big strong trees. So that's ask, believe, listen. So listen, what's good for listening? So again, just see, even when I say that, does something come to your mind, or you're this old part of your mind, do you have a sense of, or you might have your oils beside you, does something speak to you? Because it's purely an internal job. But for me, for listening, it's really the oils that are for mindfulness, because with listening, it's all about attendance and being present with yourself, and just being aware. So those basil, yeah, beautiful. Basil's beautiful. Basil's beautiful for clarity also. So zesty and just absolutely magical. And for self-awareness, I lean into the sacred oils of frankincense, myrrh, and whatever you feel helps you be more self-connected, and that might be something that's more heart related, or it might be something that's more base chakra related. So I'd love just for you to feel into what is the oil that makes me feel most self-aware, most conscious of what's going on with me. And only you know the answer to that. So, traditionally, sandalwood, cedarwood, frankincense is what has been used for that. It's connecting with yourself and yourself as, the divine elements in yourself. They're the classic ones, and it may be those, but it may be something totally specific to you, and if you feel that, you go with that, because we're dealing totally with intuition here. And the intuition that you're getting is right. It's just always right. With smell, we know smell, we feel it, and it's absolutely connected with a higher knowing, and it just comes through, and it's always right if you're doing the deep work. So that is listening, being present, and then receiving. So receiving is the last bit, which should be the easy bit. It should be the bit where you're just going, great, here it all comes. But it's often not the case. More often it's the case that the universe is like literally knocking at your door, and you are blocking it. You're not letting it in. So the act of receiving is something you have to be aware that if you're blocking, or if you're open to receiving. So being open to receiving, the oils that are good for receiving are the oils that are good for love and self-love. So it could be rose, it could be jasmine, it could be lavender, and again, it's really quite personal for you. What do you feel? It could be a specifically heart chakra oil, or it could be something that just to you says self-love. And that can be anything, from something in your childhood. It could be geraniums. When I was about 8, most of my best friends were geraniums. So for me, geraniums, I am all about the love with geranium. So it could be that you have something specifically from your past that just speaks to your love, or this past or another past life that for you feels like love. Calendula is a beautiful one. And then jasmine. I want you to say a word on jasmine as well, because I believe that jasmine is just so powerful for manifesting. Not everybody likes it. I often get women, particularly women, saying, "Oh, I hate it, can't stand it." So if that is the case with you, I would try a few different types. It's nice when it's blended, so often with balance, which is full of jasmine, women will say, I hate jasmine, but I like it in this. And it's because it's mixed with cypress, which is quite different. But if you hate it, keep trying it. Could be, if your body's telling you absolutely no, then you have to listen to absolutely no. But there are very different types. Make sure it's a very good one, very pure one, and also try it at different times of your cycle, because you can experience it quite differently. It has such an affinity with the female reproductive cycle that you may feel very differently about it at different times. I used jasmine this morning. Did you? Yeah, lovely. Yeah, it's absolutely magical, isn't it? And I love when women use jasmine, because I just believe every woman should have jasmine in some form in their lives that they're using. But it is so interesting, because some women really can't stand it, and some women, when I offer them balance to try, which isn't even pure jasmine, it's blended with clary sage and cypress and myrrh and more, but often, not often, but sometimes women, they pretty much want to just slap me. They just get like, they get quite angry, and that is really fascinating to me, you know, like what's going on there. And it is the jasmine. Clary sage never draws that reaction from people, although clary sage can be pretty feisty as well. But jasmine is the one that really, really pulls out of women strong emotions, and that's because it's an extremely deep, complex, interesting oil. And why I love to use it for manifesting is because it's so full of internal contradictions that it's quintessentially female, but it's called the king of oils, which is kind of like, what? And it is super sensual, like properly hardcore aphrodisiac, but also super spiritual. So that's kind of not necessarily a contradiction, but can be seen as a contradiction. And you know, and for me, it's just totally yin yang, and chemically also the way it is totally yin yang. So it contains these paradoxes, which for me, for belief, is brilliant, because for belief we need to believe that which is and that which doesn't seem like it is at the same time. We have to hold space for these two states: absolute having that isn't yet, as far as we can feel, and absolute not having, which is where we feel we are when we don't, you know, we have not yet manifested. We have to hold those two states simultaneously, which feels like an impossible thing to do, but that's what we need to do. And that's why I love jasmine for manifesting. So it's quite deep, and it may not resonate with you. I would say, you know, don't write it off for life, because it's so magical, and it may work for you at some point. But it's magical for manifesting. Now I want to quickly check my notes to see if there's anything else that I wanted to say. Yeah, so the asking, the lemons might be good, the citruses might be good for the asking, but you may also experience with the citruses self-love. They're just so full of sun, like we did the gratitude meditation with citrus. It's just so full of abundance and just pure sun energy. Belief, it's the woods. And then for the listening, it's the mindfulness ones, frankincense, and for the receiving, the self-love. And ginger is good for receiving also. So again, I mean, it's just it was very personal. Yeah, so that is it. Oh yeah, and I've written down Einstein. Einstein said reality is simply an illusion, albeit a very persistent one, which I think is a lovely thing to hold in your mind, that, you know, reality is just an illusion. It's a very persistent illusion. So our job is to develop our other illusion, another reality, which is equally illusory. It may feel more illusory, but we know that this one is an illusion, so there's no reason why that one can't exist. So to just give that one more energy persistently than this one has. Does that make sense? You know, be more persistent in your giving of energy to the other reality, which is that which is coming to you, and give that the energy persistently. And then the current illusion, which is reality, will have less hold on you, will feel less real, because it isn't real. So anything else is equally valid. So let's big up the stuff that we want, and the oils will help us with that. So what we do is those 4 stages. I didn't, as you may have noticed, put a separate stage for weeding out all those self-limiting beliefs, of which there are always so many. So I didn't put that as a separate stage, and I don't tend to put that as a separate stage, because for me, that work is important to do at every one of those 4 stages. At every one, you have to give a lot of your time, probably most of the time, goes to weeding out the self-limiting belief at each one of those 4 stages, because those slippery little suckers just keep coming back in at each stage. You know, at each stage you go, right, I have clarity. Whoa, I have such clarity, and I can visualize what I want to manifest so clearly. And you go on to believe, and then they slip in, and then the next stage, and they slip in. They keep slipping in these self-limiting beliefs, these feelings of that it's not going to be, it can't happen, and so lack of self-worth, and just, you know, you telling yourself how it is because it's always been like this, and they sneak in so many different forms of logic and and just different ways that you pull yourself back from all that you can be. So at each of the 4 stages, they're important. Now, oils for eradicating self-limiting beliefs. For me, that would probably be the oils that are to do with letting go. That could be. So that'd be the lemongrasses and the sweet fennels and the juniper berries, everything that's in Detox, basically. Patchouli also is actually a great detoxer, and that's just such a magical oil. So that one could be a good one. But really, it's such a personal thing. So feel into what for you will work to just get rid of those self-limiting beliefs, and that has to be done at each stage. Now, I want to get on to Affirmations. Yeah, I'm getting close to time. I want to get on to Affirmations, which is my own creation. And basically what it is where we use affirmations. So affirmations on their own, a lot of people use affirmations, and affirmations are great, but without the deep work, they're just words. Words are super powerful, but you need to really arm those affirmations with the vibration. You really do have to vibe those affirmations up, or else they just don't carry you towards what you want to manifest unless you really do the deep work. So for me, affirmation, a lot of people say affirmations, and affirmations are great because words create thoughts and thoughts create words. They have this beautiful symbiosis. So you have to be really, really vigilant about the words that you use. But just using affirmations, for me, it won't work. You need to do the deeper work to infuse the words that you're using with the deep vibration of what you want to manifest. So for Affirmations, we have a technique. We won't go into it here, but if you want, we can do it at a later point. So we have affirmations on the other side of deep work. And we use an oil that we arrive at intuitively that combines with the affirmation to make a fragramation. And then you work with that, and then other times when you're out and about, when you put on your oil, that will come back, that energy will come back. You literally put that energy on you, it's in you, and you're just manifesting that energy. So that's fragramentations. Now, so this is the last one that I'm doing, and I have decided that I am doing a special invitation. So I'm going to put this in the chat now and see if you can open it. I think that's the best way to do it. See if you can open this. Come on, you might not see me. I'm kind of excited about this. So this is just something I've been working on sort of over the course of the few weeks, and it has altered and changed as to what I would do workshop pack. So this sort of over this like elongated workshop, I've put together this pack. And I was going to do a group session as part of this pack, but I've actually decided that I'm going to do one-on-ones. So because I want to do the deep work with you if you're open to it. So this is, I'll just tell you from memory what is in the pack. So it's all 6 oils because I just want you to have the full range. So all 6 oils, if bought individually, are 150 euros. So I don't know where you are, but in euros, that's what it is. And then I've added in a one-on-one with me. And what else? A few other things as well. There's some beautiful books in there, absolutely beautiful books. An ebook on gratitude, which is just gorgeous. I didn't write all the books. I wrote one of them. They're ebooks now. I wrote one of them, but the other ones have just come into my ether, and they're all absolutely beautiful. So there's a lot in that pack, and really, everything you need to get started with manifesting, or to meet you wherever you are with manifesting, or to be honest, if it's very wellness that you want to do, that's all right with me. Like if it's sleep or whatever you want to do, that's fine with me. And then the price of it, the value of it is like 600 euros, but it's not 600 euros. No, it's not 300 euros. No, it is 150 euros, which is basically the price of the oils. No, it's 147 euros. It's actually cheaper than the oils. So it's a really, really good offer. And I just wanted to share that with you because I would love to do this work with you. And as I say, I was going to do a group one. Probably makes more sense to do a group one in a way from my time perspective. But I just thought, I think it's achievable to do a one-on-one with you. So if you're up for that, let's do it. I think it could be. I've never done this before. I don't think I will ever do it again because it's going to be quite a lot of time investment. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really beautiful experience, and I am Yeah, I'm grateful to be on this path. I'm so grateful that you're here with me and investing time, spending time with me, and that you're investing in yourself in this beautiful path. And yeah, so join me on this path and meet me if you want on a one-on-one for that. So just click on that, and if you have any questions, ping them to me. But I think that is it, really. So I think we're at time. And so if you have any questions, you can whatever, email me or DM me or whatever. And I will hopefully see some of you on that one-on-one, because yeah, I think it could be really nice, and I think it could be really it could be, yeah, just as part of your journey, be it the beginning, be it the middle, wherever you are on your journey. It'll be nice just to for me to support you on that. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, mwah, namaste.